Hello guys, and welcome to another sewing tutorial. My name is Ihoma Judith, and on this video I'll be showing you how to make this simple halter neck backless dress. So I made use of 3 yards of vintage crepe fabric. So if this is something you are interested in and you would love to know how I made it, now let's get right into the video. So I'm going to be using this paper to demonstrate how you'll be folding your fabric, okay? So this longer side is the width of my fabric, that is the yard. I'm making use of 3 yards, while this other line is going to be the length of my fabric, okay? And the length of my fabric is about 60 inches, okay? So we are just going to pick this line and we are going to turn it over to the other line, that is the width line, creating this bias shape. Very simple. So as you can see, this longer side is the closed part, while the other sides are open like this, and we are going to be having this sharp tip at the top of our fabric. So go ahead and fold your fabric like this. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've gone ahead to fold my fabric in that bias form like we did on our paper, and this side is open like it is on the paper, and this other side, which is the longer side of our fabric, is closed too. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this paper aside so that we can start our calculations. So I'm going to go ahead to find where my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus 2 inches can meet, drawing a straight line. Okay, so my shoulder measurement is 16 inches divided by 2 is 8 inches plus 2 inches is 10 inches. So I went ahead to find where that 10 inches can meet, drawing a straight line. So now that I've found it, I'm just going to go ahead and mark that line out like this, drawing a straight line. Okay, so go ahead and do the same for yours. Okay, so after that, the next thing I'm going to do is, from the closed side of my fabric, on that line, I'm going to go up by about 1.5 inches, okay? So you can go up by 2 inches. So I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches like this, and I'm going to go ahead and connect that mark to the line on the other side of our fabric that is open, okay? So go ahead and do the same for yours. On the closed side of our fabric, from that line, go up by 1.5 inches like this, and go ahead and connect the mark to the line we drew on the other side like this, okay? So when I measured the new line, I still got that 10 inches that I was working with, okay? So whatever you get, you're going to be working with that, all right? So this line is going to be called my starting line. So after that, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to go ahead to create our rope allowance, okay? So from the starting line, I went up by about 1.2 inches, and I went ahead to mark that across the fabric line like this, and I'm going to go ahead and connect the marks together. So this is going to be our rope allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the marks together, okay? So with that, we have created our rope allowance. So now the next thing we are going to do is to measure the full length of our skirt, okay? So from the starting line, make sure you take your mark from the starting line, you go down to the length of your fabric that you're working with. So remember that this dress is not going to start exactly on the shoulder. So we are going to be minusing about 5 inches from our actual measurement, okay? So here I want the actual length of my dress to be 41 inches. So I minused that 5 inches from that 41 inches, and I got 36 inches. So I added extra 1 inches for folding allowance at the hem side, giving me 37 inches. So I went ahead to mark at that 37 inches, okay? But because I want a very accurate measurement around the fabric, I went ahead to place my tape on the tip of my fabric like this, and I measured down to where I gave my full length mark, okay? So it gave me 49 inches from the tip of my fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my tape on the tip of my fabric like this, and I'm going to measure down to that 49 inches and mark, and I'm going to do that all around the fabric from the center front to the other side like this, making sure that my tape is at the tip of my fabric, okay? So after marking it out, I'm going to go ahead and connect the marks together, creating this curve, okay? So with that, we have finished drafting out the front piece, okay? So we are going to go ahead to do the cutting. So now we are going to start from the top of our fabric. So we are going to be cutting out that our rope line, which is the up part of the line that we drew. Okay, so you go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so after that we are going to go down to the full length line of our fabric, that is the down curve here, and we're going to also go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so go ahead and do the same for yours. All right, so after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my shoulder to waist measurement. Okay, so I'll be using my shoulder to waist measurement at the back, which is 16 inches. Okay, so from that my starting line, that is that our starting line that we marked, I'm going to go down to 16 inches from the side like this and mark. Okay, so after that I'm also going to go ahead and repeat the same measurement on the other side, which is the center front. Okay, so from my starting line again, I'm going to still go down to my shoulder to waist measurement at the back, which is that 16 inches, and I'll go ahead and mark. Okay, so now that we have marked the both side, I'm just going to go ahead and fold over that both side that we marked like this. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and pin it down to keep it in place. Okay, so I'm going to be using this to cut out the back piece. Okay, so guys, I also went ahead to fold over my remaining of my fabric on that bias form. Okay, so go ahead and do the same for yours. So I'm now going to go ahead and place that my front piece on it. Remember, I folded down that my shoulder to waist line on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to place it properly. Make sure that the center front of your front piece is the same with the center front of your back piece like this. Okay, while that side, which is open, is the same on the back piece like this, and make sure that both line and both sides are matching each other like this. Okay, so now that I've finished placing it up on the waistline from my center front, I'm going to be coming up by 2 inches. Okay, so take your measurement from the center front of your fabric like this. I'm going to come up by 2 inches on my back piece like this and mark, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it straight down to the waistline on the side like this. Okay, so go ahead and do the same for yours, creating this slanted line. Okay, so now on this line that we have drew, I'm going to go up from it by about 1.2 inches. Okay, so this is going to be used to create an elastic casing on the back piece. So I'm going to go up by 1.2 inches along the line like this and mark straight from one side to the other side, that is from the center front down to the other side like this, and I'm going to go ahead and connect the marks together. Okay, so this is all for drafting out of the back piece. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do the cutting. So on the top of my fabric, I'm going to go ahead and cut out that my elastic casing line, which is that 1.2 inches that we went up by like this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so after that, I'm also going to go ahead and follow the hemline of my front piece like this, cutting out the fabric like this. Okay, and with that we are done with the cutting of the back piece. So this is how easy it is to cut out this dress. Okay, so if I open up my back piece, this is what it looks like. So this is how the back piece should be looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold over the waistline of my fabric by that 1.2 inches that we gave for the elastic casing. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold it down by 1.2 inches like this, and I'm going to go ahead and fold down the other side like this and sew on it. Okay, so I'm going to do that straight down the waistline. So I'm going to go ahead and also bring my front piece, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up, removing the office pin like this. And if I open it up, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and fold down the sides of my front piece. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick one side of my front piece like this, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it in by 1/2 inch and fold it in again by another 1/2 inch and sew straight down. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this on the wrong side of my fabric, so I'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Fold it in by 1/2 inch, fold it in again by another 1/2 inch and sew straight down on it. Okay guys, so for the front piece, I've gone ahead to fold down the sides by that 1/2 inch that we went in 2 times like this, and this is what you should be getting. So this is what the front will be looking like, very smooth and neat. So now the next thing we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and fold in that rope allowance that we gave. Okay, so remember I gave a rope allowance of about 1.2 inches, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold down that top by 1.2 inches like this, and I'm going to just fold in the other side by 1/4 inch and sew straight down on it. Okay, so I'm going to do that straight down the top of our fabric, that is the rope allowance that we gave. Okay guys, I also went ahead to bring the back piece and I folded down that my elastic casing on the waistline, as you can see, and I folded it in on the wrong side by that 1.2 inches allowance that we gave, and this is what the right side of my fabric is looking like. So now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead to insert our elastic on it, and I'm using an elastic band with the width of just 1/2 inch because of that casing we created is just 1.2 inches. Okay, and to know the length of elastic band you'll be cutting out, just divide your waist round measurement by 2, and whatever you get, you minus about 4 inches from it. So as you notice, I've gone ahead to fix my safety pin on both sides, so this is going to help me control my elastic band. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to pass in my elastic band using my safety pin on one opening of the casing, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull through that elastic band using my safety pin to bring it out to the other end of the casing, that is the opening, as you can see. So while doing that, I make sure that the other end of my elastic band does not go completely into the casing that we created. That is why I fixed a safety pin on the other end, so that it's going to help me hold it. Okay, so after I was done, this is what I got. I've brought out my elastic band on the other end, as you can see. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sew down the both side to hold the elastic band on it. Okay, so go ahead and sew the both ends of the elastic casing, holding the elastic band on it. All right. Okay guys, so I want to go ahead to create the rope we'll be passing through on that rope allowance for the front piece. So I've gone ahead to cut out a long fabric, and as you can see, I went ahead to fold in both ends of the fabric by 1/2 inch, as you can see. So the width of this fabric is about 1.5 inches. So after I folded down the both ends of the fabric, so on the sides, I'm just going to go ahead and fold in both sides by 1/2 inch, as you can see. And I'm now going to go ahead and fold in one side again by 1/2 inch like this and sew straight down. And I'm going to do that straight down the fabric. And make sure you're doing that on the wrong side of the fabric. Fold in both sides by 1/2 inch like this, and fold in that same side again by 1/2 inch and sew straight down. And with that, we have created our rope. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead to fold in that my rope allowance on the front piece, as you can see, by that 1.2 inches, and this is what the front is looking like. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and fold my fabric into 2 like this. Make sure you place it properly. Then I'm going to go ahead from the top of my fabric like this and mark my shoulder to waist measurement. So my shoulder to waist measurement at the back is what I'm using, and it's 16 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and place it down like this and indicate it with my chalk like this on both sides. Okay, so take your shoulder to waist measurement at the back and go ahead and mark it out. Okay, so after marking it out, I went ahead to bring that my back piece, and as you can see, I've already sew down the both side of the elastic casing like this, holding my elastic band to it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead to join the front piece to the back piece. So I went ahead to open my front piece like this. So right side facing the right side, I'm going to go ahead and place that my back piece on one side of the front piece, on that mark that we gave. That is my shoulder to waist measurement. So I placed it on the side like this, right side facing the right side on that mark, and I'm going to go ahead and sew straight down by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. So on that mark that we gave on the front piece like this, which is still my shoulder to waist mark, I'm also going to go ahead and place the other side on the other side of my back piece, right side facing the right side on it, and I'm going to go ahead and sew straight down by 1/2 inch. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead to sew down both side by 1/2 inch on that mark like this, and this is what I'm getting. So I just decided to just reduce the length of my dress. So this is my choice, okay? So that's just because I wanted the dress a little bit shorter, okay? So now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead to fold down the hem of our dress. So you're just going to go ahead and fold in the hem of your dress by 1/2 inch like this, and fold it in again by 1/2 inch, and sew straight down on it. So I'm going to be doing that all around the hem of my dress. All right, okay guys, so this is it. After folding down the hem of my dress, this is what we are getting. So this is what the wrong side of our dress is looking like, and if you turn it over, this is what the right side of our dress is looking like. Very simple. So we are going to just go ahead to fix in our rope on the rope casing. Okay guys, so I also went ahead to fold down my rope. I've gone ahead to create the rope like we showed you earlier, and this is what the result. So I also went ahead to fix in my safety pin on one end of the rope, because we are going to be using this to pass our rope through the rope casing. Okay, so with my safety pin, I went ahead to pass my rope through one of the opening on the rope casing like this, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it out to the other side like this, and with that our dress is ready. Very simple. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this dress on my mannequin so that you can see what it looks like. So this is the after result on my mannequin, looking all nice and cute. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I hope you love this tutorial. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Until next time, bye bye.